The room was quiet, and yet her heart spoke loudly, urging her to understand the weight of the moment. Compliments, she had learned, were not mere words. They were windows into the soul of a connection. She thought of him, his quiet strength, his guarded smile, the way his eyes held 1,000 untold stories. Men, she mused, seldom heard words of affirmation, and yet they longed for them as much as anyone. It began with sincerity. Anything less would be hollow, a brittle facade that would crumble under scrutiny. She resolved to study him, not in the way one studies a puzzle to solve it, but as one gazes at a painting, letting its layers and colors reveal themselves in time. What was it about him that stirred her admiration? His intelligence? His humor? Perhaps it was the way he moved through the world, steady and unyielding, yet tender in unexpected moments. She knew the truth of her words would find their mark if they were anchored in authenticity. Specificity, she reminded herself, would be her guide. She would not settle for vague platitudes. No, she would tell him, the way you navigated that meeting today, calm, decisive, and thoughtful, it was remarkable. Or perhaps, I noticed how you stayed behind to help him. It says so much about the kind of man you are. These words, chosen with care, would echo longer than she could imagine. They would weave themselves into the fabric of his self-belief, becoming a small but enduring part of him. Timing, too, was an ally. She recalled moments when the right word could have altered the course of a day. A compliment offered in celebration of an achievement, or whispered softly during a quiet evening, carried more weight than words thrown into the void. She would choose her moments with care, offering her thoughts when they were most likely to take root. Physical compliments were easier, but she knew they must be balanced with words that reached deeper. Yes, she could tell him his shirt brought out the warmth in his eyes, but it was more vital to say, "Your patience with your family today. It's rare to see such understanding. I admire that." These words, she hoped, would show him that she saw not just the surface, but the depth of him. Delivery mattered. She had seen how words, when spoken without conviction, could falter and die. Her tone would be warm, her gaze steady, her smile sincere. If she wrote to him, her words would carry the same care, each sentence crafted with thought and purpose. Her intention was not to impress, but to connect, to let him feel the quiet strength of her admiration. There were moments when she would reach for examples to guide her. If he had achieved something significant, she would tell him, "Your dedication inspires me. Watching you work so tirelessly reminds me of how much passion can accomplish." Or when his humor lightened the weight of the day, she might say, "You have a gift for making people laugh. It's rare, and it's one of the things I treasure about you." But she also understood that the words he most needed to hear might address his insecurities. She thought of how he hesitated to share his work, unsure of its worth, and resolved to tell him, "The effort you've put into this shows your dedication. It's remarkable, and I'm proud of you." She knew these words would linger, offering comfort in moments of doubt. Yet, she also knew the value of restraint. To flood him with compliments would dilute their meaning, making them feel like idle chatter rather than heartfelt truths. No, she would choose her words carefully, ensuring each one held the weight of her intent. She thought of the shared moments that had brought them closer, of conversations under starlit skies, and quiet afternoons filled with unspoken understanding. Her compliments would carry the essence of these memories, a bridge between what was and what could be. "The way you stood up for what you believe in during that conversation," she might say, "reminded me of why I respect you so deeply." And she would remember that not every man was accustomed to such words. If he seemed uncertain, if he stumbled over his thanks or offered a shy smile, she would not waver. She would offer her words consistently, trusting that, over time, they would find their place within him. Her purpose was clear. It was not manipulation, nor a means to an end. It was a simple, profound act of love, to see him as he was and to honor him with her words. And as she prepared to speak, she carried with her the hope that her words would not only win his heart, but strengthen the fragile, beautiful connection between them. As the evening settled around her, she whispered to herself the truths she would share. Sincerity, specificity, timing, and restraint. These were her tools, not for conquest, but for connection. And with these tools, she would build a bridge to his heart, one word at a time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. How has the power of compliments impacted your relationships?